Coach, I guess start with Abu. Did you feel like he was a big spark offensively and defensively really before your offense got going in the second half?
No, for sure. I thought we had a number of players play well, but, three guys really jump off the page. Abu, when you get a double-double in this league, it means you had a really good game and you're an incredible player on that particular night. Dez at St. John's in a tough game for us, had a double-double, which, I think I tip my hat to Dez for that performance against St. John's. But today, Abu with the double-double, and Davion McKnight had a double-double. You look when you get 10 assists in a game with only 2 turnovers, you're a point guard, that's an incredible performance. But to see him shoot the three-point shot with more confidence, we want him to shoot the three-point shot. He's shown it. We're working on it. He does it more in practice, and it's starting to become more of who he is. And I think that's a valuable part to our offensive future, to make sure that he takes the open threes. And, he doesn't have to go 3 for 5, but I think his ability to take those changes a lot of different things for our offense. But his 10 assists was great. And look, Quincy's been a really good player for us really over the last month. 29 points and 5 for 11 from 3. He only had 2 turnovers as well, and I think he's really playing at a very high level. But it was those 3 guys today that really set the tone in their own respective ways for what was a very big game for us, especially coming off a tough road loss. As you guys know, we've played a trying schedule, and this is the final game before we have a chance to take a break.
Early in the second half, Seton Hall comes back and cuts the lead down to 1, and then you get on that 15-0 run. What did you see out of that 15-0 run? It looked like maybe the tempo, swung in your favor.
I credit our guys for, playing throughout the game. I didn't think we came out after halftime with much energy. That's a real problem. We have to change our starting lineup for the second half, or we have to just change it in particular because we have enough information to know that first 4 minutes of the second half is unlike the rest of our game. We've talked about it, we've emphasized it, but we have to make the changes necessary to help us in that period of time. I called a timeout today, burned a valuable timeout, simply because I think it's one of the key points to our game. No matter who we play, how we do in that first 3 or 4 minutes after halftime. And I think for, all of our players, we're in this together, but we have to really work together to be better in that segment, especially when you're on the road. You come out after halftime on the road with the opposing crowd. Sometimes that's enough to not allow you to be successful. But other than that period of time, I was happy with our performance. I thought we worked really hard the last 2.5, 3 days, and we tried to emphasize certain things against Seton Hall, and we did that.
You guys ended up at 1.14 points per possession in this game. Coming off the St. John's game, did you feel like you did something a lot better, or was it a difference of making 3-pointers versus not making them?
Well, Seton Hall didn't play as much zone against us as St. John's did, but they did play a matchup zone. We were ready. The last couple of days, that was a big part of what we talked about, what we worked on in practice. I thought it was a lesson that we learned at St. John's, that we have to constantly make sure that we're aware of if a team changes defenses, that it doesn't affect us. Again, part of the challenge for the coach is when you have this onslaught of new players, some of them being young, you can only conquer so many things. There's only so many battles that you can fight. If you try to fight every battle, you get better at nothing. So as we try to put our eggs in one basket, sometimes you can overlook another basket that, hey, by the way, you better work on this too. So I think changing defenses, handling pressure, playing against a variety and variations of zones that teams can play against us, that's me. I have to make sure that we're comfortable and prepared. We were much more comfortable and prepared in today's game than we were in New York. That's not the only reason we lost in New York, but that didn't help us. We did not execute in that area, and I was more than anything happy to see our guys respond when we had the ball against the zone today.
And then Kadari Richmond, I think he's a really unique matchup because of his size and ability to make plays. What did you think the job Desmond did defensively against him?
I thought Dez did a really good job, but as oftentimes is the case, it's the team. It's guys helping, following the game plan, taking away certain things that he does well. And, Kadari is a terrific player. He really is. Very unique, tough matchup. I mean, he had 8 steals against UConn in the game the other day. He can disrupt you on defense or on offense. So I just thought our defense was solid. But, when you have 25 assists and 9 turnovers, I go back to that one stat for this year's team, turnovers. It's not a fun thing to talk about. It's not, I think sometimes it can be boring. Almost every coach talks about it. But we're like this, right? When we have our bad days, a lot of times it's self-inflicted or the defense does a good job. But that's 18 times that you don't shoot it. And a lot of those they take and score down the other end. You felt it. Trey had a couple plays there late, right, when the game got going fast. There was just like a quick change. You're on a transition opportunity to score. They steal the ball, and they're at the rim. It's a 4-point swing. When that happens throughout the game, it's hard to win, especially when you're in the Big East Conference where every game is a battle. So cutting our turnovers down, being more consistent, where no matter when you watch us play from one game to the next, that we can take care of the ball against these different defenses, away from home, at home. I would say that's the starting point for us to really continue to grow and develop. And I think everybody here knows this. I never said we would be at our best in the month of November, and for that matter, December. The best basketball for our team is in our future. It doesn't mean we're going to win. We have to get there. But I do think that the highest upside, based on our roster and all the things that we've gone through, is in our future. And it's just up to us to coach, to be connected, our players to improve. And nights like this help. It gives us confidence, to be at our best. Like, come back from the break at Villanova, UConn at home. I don't even look at the schedule. It's every night you're playing against really good coaches, teams, players. And coming off the non-conference schedule that we played, I feel like we've been in the Big East for a while. I respect the Big East a great deal, and there's nothing that like when you look at a Christmas gift, the fact that we got Houston at home and at Purdue, I mean, it was an amazing present for us. I mean, what coach in their right mind wouldn't want to play at Purdue and Houston at home when you didn't schedule either game? I mean, that's just something that I'm grateful. That would be the word that we were given both of those games. It tested us. It showed us what was going to come, right? So we'll bounce from here.
There was a stretch there.
Think about it. I didn't schedule the game. Greg didn't schedule the game. It's like, wonder who we're going to play in the Big Ten Challenge. At Purdue, Game 3. Awesome. Now that we've gone at Purdue, Big 12 is a tough conference. Wonder which of these tough teams are going to give us. Houston at home. All right. Perfect. Understood.
There was a stretch there for a few games where it was like Trey would get in for a few minutes, he'd make some mistakes, and then he'd just sit by you over on the bench for the rest of the game. And today was a different experience for him, where he got in there, he got some extended run, he impacted the game, he made some plays on defense. What's the conversation like with him for a young guy to like, hey, stick with this?
Yeah, for sure. Trey Green did a great job in today's game. And the one thing about him is he's such a great shot maker and three-point shooter. And to your point, we have to just allow him sometimes to stay out there. But at the beginning of your career, and when you have the role that Dalen and him have, and I would put both of them in this category, it's as much to not make negative plays. You don't go out there trying to not make a mistake. I know that that's no fun. That's not going to develop them. But when you have the role that they have to be able to play good offense, make decisions and not turn it over, to be able to block out the various guys that are going to crash the offensive glass and not miss that block out or defensive assignment, that's way more important than even making a shot. So the conversations that we had is your role in opportunity grows with less negative plays. And I think just instinctively what will happen is both guys will show you that they can play. And I thought Dalen's finish in transition, a couple plays he made, and then obviously Trey's threes, timely threes, broke open the game. But they're young guys. We believe in them. But it's not easy for a freshman in today's world of college basketball, especially in the conference that we play. I looked, before the game, you look at Seton Hall, I think one of the things that they have is they have a hardened, older group. And, Trey and Dalen, they don't have that gift right now. So taking care of the ball, being solid on defense, less negative plays will allow their opportunity to grow. That's the message for them. And I do agree. I think that Trey really impacted the second half today.